Oh man, that joint right there is a banger, man. Oh man. Yo, what's good? What's good, everybody? Peace. Everybody out there in the internet world. Hope you are doing well. I know I'm doing great. We're gonna get into some of that in a second. But yo, gotta introduce myself. This is Coach Terry 803. Boom! Make sure you follow me on all socials. I'll make sure I follow you right back. We are right back up in here, up in the Coach's Corner on Konnected TV. This is episode number Divine 9. That's right. Shout out to all my HBCUs. Shout out to the members of the Divine 9 frats and sororities. You know what I mean? Salute to y'all. This is Konnected TV. It's on YouTube. It's on other streaming platforms where you can find podcasts at. It's a little bit more than a podcast, though. This is your intersection of sports, special interest, and social commentary tied up all into one package that your brain can digest and feast on. What am I doing? It's leaning neither left nor right, walking straight down that middle to help you solve this riddle called life. And before we get into anything else, make sure you get your Fire Sticks out. Roku also. Install that Konnected TV app, Konnected, Konnected with a K. Konnected TV app on your Fire TV, on your Roku. You can watch the Coach's Corner podcast amongst other shows. A lot of great entertainment, a lot of dope content is up on there. Go ahead and check it out. And if you're interested in becoming a content creator, there's ways you can do that. All right, go ahead and check out the app, man. It's worldwide. We doing numbers all across the globe, baby. You can hit me up on my email, kkontv@gmail.com. If you have any beats you want to send me, I was playing that intro right there. This episode, shout out to Ajaxxx, Powerman Beats. All right, I'm going to throw his handle up right here. Hit him up, you know what I'm saying, for beats. Dope producer, been doing this thing, man, for, I ain't going to say it forever because that make you sound old, Jax, but he's been doing this thing for a good minute, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to him for lending me that dope track on that. Yo, I can't believe it, y'all. This is actually like the 1 year anniversary of the Korner, man. So, you know what I mean? Shout out to that. Originally, I came up with this concept a couple of years ago and was throwing around some different formats and ideas. I was going to do it with other people and other affiliations, but you know, there's a plan for everything, and sometimes you just have to sit back and let the plan unfold while you're still ordering your steps. So that way, when it's presented to you, boom, you can walk in that and boom, go towards your goal, your path. So that's what we're doing right here up in the corner. But yeah, the first episode was June 2023. You can go back and check that out. This is episode number 9. Like I said, I wanted to produce content on a monthly basis, but listen, Coach is extremely busy. You already know, how my life is. If you're following, the Corner for all episodes, I've unveiled my life. I told you, I coach 3 different sports. I teach, I do PA for Allen, basketball and football. So college season, I'm very busy. Plus, I'm also, family man, a mentor. Like, I have a lot going on. So, but that's no excuse. Because if this is something I want to do, I got to get better at doing that. So in 2024, I'm going to give you content on a monthly basis. We're going to knock it out. All right? Hit me up, KKONKTV. Again, if you have any beats you want me to play, if you got any promo gear that I can throw on and plug for you. This episode, shout out to my son, Talon, Lil T. They call him Lil T. For this shirt commemorating Juneteenth because it is June. He's very socially conscious. His mother and I, we make sure that he's aware of things affecting, not just his community, but worldwide as well, because we're not just, that's the thing that, I don't want to go off on a tangent, all right, because this is the intro, but, we talk about the Black community and African-American community, however you want to phrase it, all right, I just say Black folk myself. I'm a regular dude, I say Black folk, but we are also part of the larger world, and our community is integrated amongst everybody else. So things that affect the world affect us as well. That's all I was really trying to say. Yeah. So we're gonna get into it, yo. We got an action-packed show. All right. Sit back, pour yourself something cold to drink, or if you want to just let this play in the background while you're doing some homework. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's summertime. You shouldn't be doing no homework because you shouldn't be in summer school because you should have took care of your business during the school. Unless you college and you're doing summer school for extra credits and to get ahead on your graduation schedule. I already know because I did that when I was an undergrad too. I did summer school too. But anyway, This is the Coach, Terry 803. This is the Coach's Corner. We on Konnected TV. We on YouTube. We all around the world, baby. Ajaxxx, take us up out of here. We'll be right back. Y'all know what it is, man. Alright, we ain't gonna hold it too long. Gotta let the beat ride it out a little bit though, just because I like that one so much. Again, shout out to Ajaxxx Powerman Beats for the love. Pardon me, I know that's wild unprofessional. Chewing up, ever since I put my little vending machine up in the Coach's Corner, up in my man cave, I've been going wild with these Skittles, yo. Like, man, sorry, I didn't mean to mention it by name because they ain't paying me for that. But if you would like to sponsor or endorse, please, I'm willing to accept all funds. Especially because I enjoy your product so much. All right, second base. Let's jump right into it, man. We ain't gonna hold no punches. This is the corner. You know how we do. I say it how I feel it. You know what I mean? This is what it is. Caitlyn Clark. Let's talk about her. Everybody else been talking about her. I really, to be honest, y'all, like, I did not want to do a segment on Caitlyn Clark because they've been beating this subject up since she's been drafted. If you don't know who she is, you're living under a rock. So I'm gonna save you some time. And we're not going to catch up on none of that. Because if you don't know who she is, then, all right, let me do my job. Caitlyn Clark. She is a female basketball player. She's bad. She's tough. She can hoop. All right? She broke the all-time scoring record in college, men's or women. So nobody in college basketball has ever scored more points than she did. She played at Iowa, small school. Went up against a couple bigger schools in national championship games and came up short. Right? She just didn't have enough firepower. But she's tough. She obviously went #1 WNBA. Okay? Boom, there you go. Now, there's another female making waves in that rookie class in the WNBA. Her name is Angel Reese. Catch you up on Angel Reese. Angel Reese started off at the University of Maryland, transferred to Louisiana State University, better known as LSU. Right? Angel Reese, she tough, she bad, she can hoop. Same characteristics as Caitlyn Clark. Only difference is one's black, one's white. Caitlyn Clark's like a guard, Angel Reese is a big. Okay? So you have that dynamic as well. All right, let me paint a little bit of picture. So back in college, they had a little trash talk back and forth. Now look, I'm a competitor. Like, I love to compete. I compete in everything that I do. Like, I be telling my students and my players, anybody who listens, the people I mentor, like, grades, to me, I use school as another form of competition. Like, I always wanted to be top dog in my class because, like, I'm competing with these people. You know what I'm saying? All the time. Like, my mind is never off of competing. That's just how I'm built. That's how I'm wired. So that's how these ladies is wired too. They compete hard and they go at it. And they trash talk each other and one up each other. And, one got painted a villain, one got painted a hero by the media. Now, it doesn't take a genius to figure out which one was which. All right? But it's cool because they both kind of leaned into those roles and accepted it. And, for older cats like myself, you kind of saw like a Magic Bird thing. Like when they was in college going at it, then they went to the pros and boom, 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 then they became tight. But they wasn't tight at first. Like Magic and Bird did not like each other for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And then, boom, then they got tight. Then they did like a commercial shoot for McDonald's or something like that. And then, boom, they got tight. They got to know each other like, oh, okay, all right. And I got my own person in my life like that. If you go back to episode 4 when I was talking about coaching, Coach Smith. I ain't like Coach Smith at first. He ain't like me. We couldn't stand each other. But then once we actually got to know each other, it was like, oh, boom. All right, now that's my dog. Like it said, he got me into this whole high school coaching thing and all that. Shout out again, Coach John Smith. It's my guy. Anyway, I got sidetracked. You know how I do sometimes. So make sure that I'm staying grounded on topic. All right. So back to Angel and Caitlyn. So they both get drafted into the WNBA. And they continue to go at it. Angel plays for Chicago Sky, and Caitlyn plays for Indiana Fever. Indiana Fever had the #1 pick. They were the worst team in the league. They had the #1 pick a year ago and drafted local player. I was going to say girl, but she's a woman. Aaliyah Boston, right from University of South Carolina, right down the road here in Columbia. Right, so Aaliyah is a great player. So now I have Aaliyah, post presence. They got Caitlyn, the outside presence. Boom, they should be like a Shaq and Kobe. Okay, they should get after him. See some big things from them. But now look, I'm not jumping on no bandwagon, because if you go back to episode 3 of the Coach's Corner, remember I took you to a WNBA game, the Las Vegas Aces. Me and my homeboy was in Vegas last summer, and I got some clips from the game and told you about the experience, and it was great. The Aces, A'ja Wilson, again, another Gamecock, another #1 overall pick. She's been MVP, I think, 2 of the last 3 years. They won the last 2 championships. I mean, A'ja Wilson is as good as they come, but for some reason, her status, her play, even though she was the top dog in college and high school, she was #1. Her, high school, #1 coming to college, #1 pro, like, she's been that for a long time. But it still couldn't elevate the WNBA to where Caitlyn has elevated it to. Some of it say it's her style of play because she shoots the logo threes and all that, the step backs, and she do have a little, a little wiggle to her game. But it's a lot of women in the WNBA who play like that. All right, so I'm not going to sit here and act like race is not a part of why Caitlyn Clark is so popular. It is, because we've never seen a white woman play this way. And it's very appealing to, listen, as of right now, June 28th, 2024, the majority of people in the United States are white. All right, it's just a fact. Like, it's not racist, it's not race baiting, it's not pulling in. I'm just stating a simple fact. Numbers will tell you that. All right, so get out your feelings, put your big boy pants and panties on, and let's talk real. Okay, so the majority of people in this country are white. So when they see a player that they, wow, she got some flash, she got some sizzle, we can get behind that. And it's nothing wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that's why she's so popular, and that's why the sport is elevating to a new level, because they really just needed a white player to play that way. And frankly, to be honest too, like A'ja Wilson, Aaliyah Boston, Brittany Griner, good players, but they're bigs, right? It's kind of hard to get behind a big and be excited to see a big play, because a lot of stuff was to do was real fundamental, drop steps, jump hooks, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, putbacks, like that's not really exciting. But again, so Caitlyn and Angel continued their rivalry into the WNBA. There was an incident with a player hip check Caitlyn Clark, and people were talking about it on these stupid talk shows for, oh my gosh, they were talking about it every single day for it seemed like 2 weeks. And to me, that's just typical rookie treatment that any player in any league would get. They do the same thing when you come to high school. I coached JV for some years here in Columbia, JV high school football. And, I mean, they would do that to the freshmen. When the freshmen would come, they would, nothing dirty, but you just let them know, like, hey, welcome to the big time. Like, this happens when you go to college and you're going to be a rookie. They're gonna do that same type of stuff to you when you go to a professional league as a rookie. This happens on the men's side. This has been happening on the women's side. So now that Caitlyn's got all these eyes and all this attention, I feel like they kind of coddle her a little bit, and they're trying to, break out this different set of rules, which didn't apply to the other people that have come before her. And to me, that's simply all it is. It's just the typical treatment of a rookie. It's just more eyes on her, so we're seeing it now. But we didn't notice these things when they were happening to Candace Parker and Shamika Holesclaw and Tamika Catchings and, Kelsey Plum and all these other great players that came way before her, and some of them even more recently. So I just think it's laughable. I think what Diana Taurasi said was spot on. She said they're trying to treat her, handle her with kid gloves, like they want her to be the face of the league. They want to give her a different set of rules. But in all actuality, she's fine with it. I mean, I was laughing because Caitlyn was like, I grew up with 2 brothers. Like, they've hit me harder than that. You know what I mean? So she's not crying about it. I'm not saying that, Caitlyn, she's asking for that. She's not. She wants to be treated like any other player. She wants to just go out there and hoop. Listen, man, at the end of the day, ball players just want to play ball. All right, like KD said it in an interview one time. He's like, look, man, dude was asking him a whole bunch of questions about, off the court, this and that, and why don't you do KD just kind of shook his head, rubbed his forehead. He was like, look, man, all I want to do is hoop, man. Like, I don't care about nothing else. I just want to hoop. And that's how ball players feel. And to me, Caitlyn is a ball player. Point blank, period. Like I really get in the segment off of that. She want to be treated like everybody else. And if you're going to be, considered special and you want to elevate the game and, you have this, they call it generational talent. It's one of them phrases that I hate that everybody in sports media uses now. Generational talent. I don't know, whatever. But she is really, really good, though. Like I said, there's no shade at all. She's really good. I enjoy watching her play. I enjoyed watching her play in college. I also enjoyed watching the Gamecocks beat her this year en route to the national championship. Shout out to Dawn Staley and the Lady Gamecocks, especially my sis Khadijah Sessions, assistant coach for the Gamecocks. We coached together for a couple years at Ridgeview. She was a JV boys coach when I was over there coaching B team boys, and I think in her 2 years coaching JV, they only lost like 2 or 3 games. Like, she's an exceptional, phenomenal coach. She was a great player, former point guard, University of South Carolina, Lady Gamecocks, and then she's coaching now. So shout out to you, sis. Glad you got that chip ring. You know what I'm saying? You deserve it. So do all them ladies over there. All right, last thing I'm going to talk about real quick. Let me get a sip. See, it's water. Because somebody emailed me and somebody was like, yo, yeah, Coach, I know you don't be drinking water and that thing because you just be talking. No, look, I got my refill right here. So during the breaks, that's what I be doing, refilling my water. And all right, but last thing I want to talk about with Caitlyn is the USA roster omission. She was famously and loudly, I say loudly because once again, everything involving Caitlyn Clark, sorry for the clapping. I'm not trying to set a fight off because, at school, you know what I'm saying, when you see somebody clap and it's about to go down, like, I told you, you better have my money. I ain't playing with you. So I'm not trying to, I'm just drilling home the point that I'm really getting sick of everything being about Caitlyn Clark. And it's like, it's not fair. It's not fair. She was left off the USA women's Olympic roster. All right. And a lot of people were saying, well, she's not one of the 12 best players. She's not. Then people were saying, well, neither is Diana Taurasi. Right? Diana Taurasi, I think, is 40-41. But they were like, well, it's kind of like a legacy play. She contributed to so many women's teams. She put her work in. She deserved that spot. And it kind of is a spot on Olympic teams for players like that. All right, you got to give them their due, their props. Listen, Caitlyn Clark is 22, probably 22, maybe 23 years old, something like that. She's super young. She'll have her chance to play in every 4 years. She'll have her chance to play in 4 Olympics easily, okay, before it's all said and done. Maybe 5, because she'll probably be one of those legacy players at the end of her career getting that spot. Somebody's like, well, what about her? So, I mean, if you're not one of the 12 best, okay, my deal is this, y'all. Sports is supposed to be one of those places where, big word coming, it's a meritocracy. Meritocracy. Look it up. It basically means that you get what you earn. All right? Sports is supposed to be one of those last places to where the spots go to those who deserve it, who earn it. That's where you can go into a training camp, an NFL training camp, a 5th-round pick, and beat out the starter and become the starter. That's where you can, it can. I can give you plenty of examples, but we're not talking about that. All I'm just saying is that sports is supposed to be one of those places where you're not given anything, you have to earn it. And so if she's not one of the 12 best players in the world, then she shouldn't be on there, because there was actually a few more players who were left off who were better than her, who have better numbers. She's a rookie. She got plenty of time, y'all. Like, pump your brakes, okay? Slow down. In the words of Brand Nubian, slow down. Slow down. All my youngsters, y'all look that song up. It's a group called Brand Nubian. It had a song called Slow Down. That joint was banging, man. Grand Puba's lyrics on that was so smooth. But anyway, that's it for second base. Had to get my thoughts on Caitlyn Clark out a little bit. Fair or unfair? I say it's all fair in love and basketball. If you ain't seen the movie, you probably think that's stupid. If you saw the movie, you probably think that's stupid. Hey, man, it's the Korner, baby. We having fun. Be right back. Alrighty. We back up in this piece. Third down. And we are going to revisit a topic I've done twice during our time here together in the corner. I don't know why I said it like that. I was in my head. I was thinking I could do a Howard Cosell voice, but I stopped myself because I'm like, people under 40 aren't gonna know who Howard Cosell is, and they're gonna think I sound crazy. But Howard Cosell was a very, very famous and influential sports broadcaster. People like Muhammad Ali had some famous run-ins with Howie. But again, he was a legendary guy, man. If you watch sports, he definitely made his mark in the 80s and especially the 80s. I mean, for people like me. Anywho, let's jump into it. So, sports misconceptions. I talked about this. This is part 3 because I talked about this first in episode 4, then in episode 6, and I thought I would revisit it. So, what happens is, over time, sports media fills your head with these misconceptions. They tell you one thing, and they say it over and over and over and over again, and you hear it. It's kind of like how they trick you into thinking that the song is hot on the radio, where they play it over and over and over again. At first you hate it, then you play it all the time, and then the next thing you know, you nod your head. Next thing you know, you're saying the lyrics. Next thing you know, it's in your playlist, right? That's what they do with these misconceptions. They take something, and they drill it, and they over again until you think that it's true, but it's really not true if you sit down and you actually think about it. So the first one I'm going to tackle, this one, is that they always say that the next quarterback up in the NFL now, you're talking about, should be the highest paid. Because they always say, oh, next man up. He's next man up for the big deal. Next man up for the bag. Next man up for the bag. And I don't think, like, that's false because that doesn't equal wins. I'm just going to look at this past free agency season. Actually, it's still going on now. Was it, Kirk Cousins signed. I know it's a little bit different because he switched teams, but he got signed with Atlanta. He didn't sign the top free agency deal. Good job. He didn't sign the top free agency deal. I'm not going to edit that out, too. I'm gonna leave it in here because that's just how real we keep it in the corner. Mess ups and all, man. Blooper reel stuff. But Kirk Cousins didn't sign a top dog deal when he went to Atlanta. Then you have Baker Mayfield, who signed in Tampa. He didn't sign a top dog deal either. He was next up to get paid. Again, I know different circumstances, right? Because you're going to say, first thing you're going to push back, well, coach, those aren't elite level guys, so they shouldn't be in line to get them top dog deals. And I say you're right. Like, to me, there should be some kind of pecking order. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, let's just go back 8 years, right? That's a pretty good sample size, would you say? Let's look at the Super Bowl winners and let's look at the quarterbacks. 2017, the Patriots, Brady. 2018, the Eagles, Foles. 2019, Patriots, Brady. 2020, the Chiefs, Mahomes. 21, the Bucks, Brady. 22, the Rams, Stafford. 23 and 24, the Chiefs, Mahomes. All right, so you got Brady with 3, Mahomes with 3, Stafford 1, Foles 1. Okay, and in the past 8 Super Bowl winners, none of those guys were highest paid. None of those guys were even top 5, except I think Mahomes in that 23 one. Because if you remember, that's the first time that they had to shed like Tyreek Hill and them boys, and they were like, oh my gosh, they didn't have the money to pay Tyreek Hill. So what happens is, to the casual fans, what happens is the NFL is a salary cap league, meaning that each team has the same amount of money to spend. Doesn't matter how much money your team generates, because you can only spend the same amount as this other team. Okay? So it's kind of like a socialist policy if you actually think about it. But that's a little bit deeper, and we're going to dig into this, all right? It's a whole other topic, whole other channel. But because of that, so if you're paying your quarterback so much money, you can't pay other good quality guys, well, then your quarterback really has to be one of them dudes to carry a team to a championship, because he's not going to have as many quality pieces around him because they can't afford to pay him. Does that make sense? Right? When Patrick Mahomes signed his big new deal, one of the things that he did was he extended it over a number of years to spread the money out. So when people say $500 million, yeah, but he spread it out for so long. I think it was like 10 years. Right? You say, well, that's still $50 million a year. Not really. That's if you average it out. They did some things with the accounting. My undergraduate degree is in accounting, so I understand it, but I'm not going to sit here and bore you with it. But basically, they toyed with the money so that he's not getting chopped out as much as he could be each and every year. He's taking probably about $10 to $15 million per year less than he could demand with his status, because he's saying, take that 10 to 15 million per year that I'm giving back to you and give me some good players around me so I don't have to do everything. Okay, the past 2 years, it seemed like he has, but the defense has really stepped up. A lot of young guys that they drafted, they scout really well, and so that's helping them out. So now what I'm talking about specifically is your boy, Dak Prescott, Dakota Rain Prescott, quarterback for the Cowboys. If you know who that is, man, oh man, they talk about this contract every single day, y'all. It's kind of getting on my nerves, but I get it because you can't so if you pay Dak $60 million a year, which is kind of what he wants, well then you're not gonna be able to sign CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, or you're probably gonna have to make a choice between one of those two. So that's gonna be less players you can have around you. So again, you signing your quarterback to that top deal, highest paid player in NFL history money is not going to give you wins. Even with Matthew Stafford for the Rams, he didn't sign his big deal until after they won that Super Bowl. Brady was never the highest paid. He made it a point that he didn't want to be the highest paid because he knew the situation. Nick Foles was a backup, playing on a backup deal. Again, that was a kind of an anomaly. But again, it's just showing you that if you want to really win big, you can't pay your quarterback top dog money. They're paying Trevor Lawrence all this money. He hasn't done anything. They're paying Justin Herbert all this money. He hasn't done anything. Now they had to get rid of half the team in San Diego, LA, the Chargers, because Justin Herbert's getting such a big bag. He hasn't done anything anyway with those players. So now you got to get rid of him. What you think he's going to do? Look, man, I'm just pointing something out. I'm not hating. Go get your money, please. Football's a dangerous sport. Get as much as you can. But just understand quarterbacks. When you want that big dog bag, you better really be a big dog because you're going to have to carry the whole pound on your back. All right, and the second misconception that we're going to tackle this episode is that you need a big three to win an NBA championship, and that's simply not true. Okay, again, I like to do a little bit of homework. I don't look. I'm a research guy. Okay, I told you my undergraduate degree is in accounting. Yes, I'm a teacher. My master's degree leans towards education, but my undergraduate degree is in accounting. That's what I did for a lot of years. So I can sit here and dig up numbers and crunch numbers and give you a bunch of boring stats. Nobody wants to hear that. Like, you can go and watch your big media sports shows if you want to hear that. I'm just sitting here kicking it to you like me and you are in the corner talking. All right, so people keep saying you need a big three to win a championship. Man, that ain't right. I did, again, a little bit of research just so I could be fresh. Last 8 years, let's talk about them. NBA champions. 2017, Warriors. 2018, Warriors. 2019, Raptors. 2020, Lakers. 21, Bucks. 22, Warriors. 23, Nuggets. And last week, we had the Celtics win it. I'm looking at all those teams. I don't see a big three. You could say, well, Coach, what about the first two Golden State teams? No. To quote Jay Mills, no. They did not have a big three. They had a big team, period. Like, it was more than just Steph, Clay, KD. They had Draymond. They had Barbosa. They had Bogut. They had, what's the muscle dude named? Iggy. Like, they had as we used to say in my team, a boat. Like a boatload of talent. They had a boat back in Golden State, man. It wasn't no big three. Toronto definitely wasn't a big three. It was Kawhi, and really it was KD and Clay getting hurt. Toronto won that chip because of injury, but it is what it is. The Lakers, it was AD and LeBron, so they had a duo. The Bucks, same thing. It was Middleton and Giannis. They had a duo. Jrue Holiday was important. I'm not saying he wasn't, but he wasn't part of like a big three in Milwaukee. It was Middleton and it was Giannis that year. Brook Lopez was also very important in those finals, along with Jrue Holiday, Bobby Portis. They had a lot of contributions from a lot of guys back then. And when Golden State won it again, it wasn't Steph, Clay, Draymond. It was a team effort. My guy Gary Payton II. Like, they had contributions from a lot of guys. Andrew Wiggins was huge. He was the best defender on those teams. So that wasn't a big three situation. Denver reminded me of kind of like those first Golden State teams. Like, they was loaded. Murray, Porter, Gordon, KCP. That's their first five was solid, man. It's kind of like Boston this year. Boston went 5-6 deep. So big threes don't win championship. Teams do. That big three era, it was around for a little bit. It had its run. I'm not gonna sit here and say it didn't. It had its run. It really did, because you go with obviously the first kind of big three that was put together: KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen in Boston. They won the chip in 2008. Then they went back to the finals in 2009, but they lost to Kobe's big three: Kobe, Powell, and Artest. You could say Bynum, But to me, so again, once again, maybe they didn't have a big three. As I'm thinking about it, I was saying Kobe, Powell, and Artest, but Bynum was very important as well. His rim protection, and his post play in those back-to-back championship finals too. So, I don't know. I'm just sitting there kind of thinking just off my head, But then you had obviously LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. So they had their big three run, and they tried to do the big three in Cleveland with LeBron, Kyrie, and Love, and they got one. They got one. They probably should have had another one if Kyrie and Love didn't get hurt. But once again, injuries are part of the game, man. It's what it is. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it falls right for some teams. Sometimes other teams get the bad break, pun intended. So that's what it is, man. And you just need to put together a complete team in the NBA. Just what it's looking like. You're going to need talent at all positions. You're going to need guys who can defend the perimeter. You're going to need rim protectors as well. You may not need a true classic center. Like we talked about in episode 4, Misconceptions, they say you don't need a big man. But again, I just read back all these champions, and it looks like each champion did have a quote-unquote big man. Even Boston, the series changed when Porzingis went nuts. When he came in and just went nuts, like everything changed. I know he ended up missing, I think, a game and a half or 2 games maybe at the end of it. But by then, Boston was in total control, and his energy, his mismatch just changed everything. And of course, Denver with Jokic. I'm just looking at that list. So you do need a big man. So that goes back to part 4, and episode 4, when I was doing the sports misconception segment as well. So I'm tying all these things together, trying to give you some things that maybe you don't think about, but I hear this stuff and it just bothers me because I'm a rational thinking person. Like I said, I'm leaning neither left nor right, walking straight down that middle to help you solve this riddle called life. This is the Coach's Corner. We on Konnected TV. We on YouTube. We on streaming all around the world, wherever you can find podcasts at. Hit me up. Let's talk about it. We'll be right back. Shout out once again, Ajaxxx on that beat right there. This is the 4th quarter, so you know what that means. That means we about to close out here. Can't go away without talking about the NBA draft. I specifically held this month's episode to the end of the month, which is going to put a lot of pressure on me to get it edited and produced and put out before the 30th. But hey, whatever. I chose this life. All right. Or maybe this life chose me. I'm just walking in the path of it, like I said before. But in the 4th quarter, we're going to talk about the NBA draft, 2024 NBA draft. It just happened. The second round was yesterday. So, again, that's why I purposely waited so I could see how the draft shook out. Last year, episode 1, I talked to, what's the episode? No, sorry, it was episode 2. I talked about the draft last year. So you can go back and see how my thoughts and what my picks and everything was like for the 2023 draft. My recap and my thoughts about that. Had to shout out a few players who were drafted from right here locally in Columbia, and then also throughout the state of South Carolina last year. Drafted Julian Phillips, right here, Columbia kid, drafted by the Bulls. Jalen Slauson, South Carolina kid, was drafted by the Kings. We had Noah Clowney, another South Carolina kid, was drafted by the Nets. And then Gigi Jackson, of course, kid I coached in high school right here at Columbia. At Reedview High School, was drafted by the Grizzlies. And, of course, Gigi ended up taking the NBA by storm. But I told you, sorry, I know that was loud, but I hate to say I told you so, but I did. I told you back then. Go back to episode 2. I might link it just so you can go back and understand what I'm saying. Like I told you, he was drafted in the 2nd round by Memphis, and just I'm not recapping that. You got to go back and watch the episode. You can be like, wow, Coach really. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to look, just because I coached the kid, I'm not going to pump him up, man, you know what I'm saying, to be something that he wasn't. But I just knew that he worked too hard. His work ethic was too great and his talent was too tremendous that it was only a matter of time before he shined. And then you see, he ended up, once he got some run, thankfully Memphis had a lot of injuries. He was able to get some burn, and he did. Putting 31 on LeBron's head, 30 on Giannis. Like, what? Got the whole world talking about Gigi Jackson, youngest player in the NBA. Shout out to you, Gigi. Also wanted to note something I saw floating around on Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. Since 2019, there have been 11 players from South Carolina, the state of South Carolina, drafted. We had another one last night. Dylan Jones, drafted 26 to Oklahoma, drafted by the Wizards, but traded to Oklahoma City. A lot of guys I know out here, know Dylan and trained him and stuff like that. So watching him grow was great, man. But we had Dylan Jones, Julian Phillips, Zion Williamson. Y'all ain't know Zion, South Carolina boy. John Morant. They went 1 and 2 in that draft, South Carolina boys. Jalen Slauson, Aaron Neesmith, Bryce McGowans to the Hornets. Gigi Jackson, Noah Clowney, Jarrell Brantley, another kid that went to Ridgeview High School, and Nick Claxton. So 11 players since 2019, man, for a state the size of South Carolina with barely 5 million residents, man. That's outstanding. So South Carolina is becoming hoop state, man. I'm telling you, there's so many more on the way. Y'all don't even know. Y'all better just stay tuned, man. South Carolina ball is blowing up. But I ain't gonna sit here and just pump up SC ball. Pause. No Diddy. You wrong for that, Coach. But listen, my kids be saying it all the time. My players, and it stuck with me now. Like, you just say pause. No Diddy. All right, so we're gonna talk about. I told y'all I'm immature, man, but that's why you tune into the corner. I keeps it funky with you, you know what I'm saying? Like underarms of middle school kids after gym class. That's how funky I keep it. Trust me, I teach 7th grade. I know how funky they get when they come back to the class. I'm like, oh, you had PE, didn't you? Yeah, I know. Come on over here and get some of the spray deodorant, boy. I can't let you walk around like this. Oh, yeah, man, I roast my kids. Why not? They roast me. They talk about me all the time. You know what I'm saying? They call me fat. They be talking about my hair and talk about everything, man. So I roast them too when I get a chance. But it's all love, both ways. You know what I'm saying? I don't take it personal. They don't take it personal, man. That's how they know I love them. You know what I mean? All right, let's talk about this draft finally. So I'm delaying because I really don't want to talk about it. Like, the draft is weak. First of all, let me say that. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. KKONKTV@gmail.com. Tell me I'm wrong. Ooh, that bicep flex. I went to the gym this morning. Since I've been on summer break, I've been going to the gym every morning. Like, that's the first thing I do. I wake up, go to the gym, you know what I'm saying, before I get my day started. I usually lay around a little bit. Then I got football practice at 4, so, I get busy and go to that. But anyway, I just, my shirt came up a little bit, and I was admiring my... all right, so the draft was weak. No homegrown players. Maybe that's what makes it so weak. Like, I don't know the people that's in the draft. I watch college ball. But it's like, when you watch college ball, I don't really see too much that's outstanding. I mean, I don't. I see guys who, can shoot deep threes. I didn't say they were proficient. I said they can shoot them. I see guys who like to play one-on-one. I see guys who have a lot of bounce and can dunk. I don't, and I'm not knocking the American game because the number one and 2 picks were foreign guys. French kids. And I don't have anything against France, but I'm just saying, if our number 1 and number 2 picks to play basketball are from France, then something's wrong with our American system. Like, I'm just going to say that. And I'm going to say that, and I'm going to stand on that 10 toes down firm. SOB, stand on bitterness. Standing on bitterness. Maybe I shouldn't be quoting Drake, because the people saying Drake got his butt kicked in that beef, but I'm still standing on that. Like, I don't want to say this is our game because that sounds cocky. But they call us cocky Americans, man. Basketball's supposed to be our thing, though. Yes, it was invented in Canada, Dr. James Naismith. Please don't tell me that. I know that. Just saying, though. Who perfected it? It ain't about who starts something. It's about who perfected it. All right? Americans perfected basketball. And now, we not even the top dogs no more. I'm just looking at the draft like there was nobody that... You know what I'm saying? This is nothing like the 84 classic draft with Jordan and Akeem and them in it. You know what I'm saying? Barkley and them, 96 draft with Iverson and Steve Nash and Kobe and all them boys in it. This wasn't like 96. This wasn't like 03 with Bron, Wade, Bosh, Melo. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh, dude, and those were classic drafts. So I'm not saying that, those drafts produce, 4, 5, 6 Hall of Famers in those drafts. Again, but this Name me one. Name me one All-Star in 3 years from this draft. I don't know. Shout out also AJ Johnson, pick number 3 to Milwaukee. He used to hoop with my nephew, DeMarco Johnson, who I told y'all about. I'm tired of telling y'all about DeMarco. Shout out to you, DeMarco. Nephew just committed to play his senior season of high school ball at Oak Hill Academy in Virginia. Shout out to DeMarco. We're going to be playing for my mentor, one of my mentors. I have a lot of mentors in sports and coaching, but my basketball mentor, Coach Stoneman, is the head coach at Oak Hill Academy, formerly was at Ridgeview. I coached under him for 3 seasons, and just a brilliant, brilliant basketball mind. I was delighted to hear that they were looking at my nephew, who's one of the top players in 2025 in Southern California. So now he'll be going to Oak Hill, man. That's great. But AJ Johnson played with my nephew DeMarco in high school when DeMarco was at SoCal Academy. And I saw AJ, man. AJ was athleticism. The boy runs the floor like a deer. Could shoot it, could put it on the floor, could, score off the bounce. Like his game was very, very impressive when I saw him. And he didn't go to college. He, obviously had a lot of offers. Instead, went and played overseas, I believe in Australia, played professionally. And that's a really tough league. It was Australia. And that's a very tough league professionally. I know that's where the number 2 pick, Ajaxxx, he came from over there as well, from Perth. So again, that Australian league is known for producing and cultivating and young talent. I believe, is that where Brandon Jennings went? I want to say maybe that's where Brandon Jennings went too. Was where Brandon Jennings, another Oak Hill kid from Southern California too. So it's just, it's good to see some cats get an opportunity, man. And AJ was one that when I saw it, I nodded my head and I felt good about that one. Of course, I'll spend the last minute or two talking about Bronny James. Pick number 55 to the Lakers. I say the Lakers because the LeBron Lakers. They're not the LA Lakers anymore. They're the Lakers, LeBron Lakers. Like and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at Bronny. People saying it's nepotism. Of course it's nepotism. You go to any sports league, it's nepotism rampant through the front offices, through the coaching ranks. So what? Finally, a player is getting a chance to pull his kid up. Like, I'm not mad at that at all. That's wonderful that LeBron had the longevity to stick it out. That he's able to still be a mover and shaker, pulling strings and getting what he wants done. I mean, shoot, which one of us wouldn't pull our son into our profession if we could? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole point of being successful and building something and establishing yourself, right? And that's so you can make the path a little bit easier for your kids. He's already done that. Obviously, they've got more money than their kids can spend. The kids do, obviously. But that just shows that Bronny really wanted this because he worked hard just like every other kid out there. You know what I'm saying? Again, my nephew DeMarco used to play with them in AAU. So they know the James family, been around them for years. And he used to say the same thing, man. Like Bronny and them boys work hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't feel talented, entitled, and spoiled. Like Bronny, Bryce, them boys are still out there trying to get out the mud like everybody else. So I'm really glad that LeBron was able to do that for his son. And anybody saying, oh, man, he shouldn't get the opportunities. Pick 55, dude. Who cares? I'm not going to say who cares, but, like, if you look at, and I saw this on First Things First, shout out to First Things First. They did the research on this. They went back, like, 10 years and showed who was picked number 55. None of them dudes even lasted, like, a year or two in the league. So what difference do it make if they take a chance on Bronny? So what? They's probably going to pick somebody who wouldn't have stuck around and even made the roster anyway. Give the kid a chance, man. I mean, shoot, like I said, a lot of these coaches got their opportunity because they dad coached and they sat on the bench with their dad since they was 12 years old. So they got to see it up close and firsthand. So once they got old enough, boom, now they taking over. A lot of these general managers, same thing. So what? A lot of these owners, they got the teams from their dads. So why is it a big deal now because it's LeBron? Like, man, y'all kill me with that, man. Go ahead. Shout out to you, LeBron. Shout out to Bronny. And I'm not even a LeBron stan. I just don't care. Like, I actually think it's beautiful. If I get a chance to pull my son up into something, don't think I won't. And don't think you won't, too, if you got that opportunity. Stop hating. NBA draft, we talked about it. There, boom, it's done. My obligation is over. We're going to come back and wrap this thing up, y'all. Sit tight. Hang with me for about another 5 minutes, all right? 100. Let me see. Keep this on. Keep that on. As we close on out of here, this is the closer. Bring out the righty. All my baseball players know what that is. I played a little baseball too back in my day, my middle school days. Got to high school, the ball got a little bit too hard to hit, and boys were throwing too fast. But that's what they want when they want to bring out the pitcher. They be like, bring out the lefty, bring out the righty. Really, that was just another chance for me to flex too. All right. All right. So we gonna close on out, man. Appreciate y'all for sitting in the corner with me this episode. Next month we'll be back. I told you, man, I am going to hold myself to producing and releasing an episode every single month. Make sure, once again, you get out those Fire Sticks, those Roku remotes. I should have brought my Roku remote here too. Go ahead, boom, you know I got my TV up on the wall. Boom, go to that app store, search Konnected, Konnected TV, Konnected TV app. Take it with you wherever you want to go. Hit my email up, kkonktv@gmail.com. If you have promo material, I wear your shirt, wear your hoodie, plug it for you, I wear your hat, plug it for you. You got beats, I'll play your beats in between the segments, plug them for you. Whatever I can do to help you out, to help your movement out, I'm willing to do that. Again, shout out to my son, Talon. They call him Lil T. People say he look just like me. Like every time, people that don't even know us, like if they see us together, like that's gotta be your son. He look just like you. Yesterday we was at Checkers. You know what I'm saying? They just opened the Checkers here. We were standing in line at Checkers, and the lady was like, "Oh my gosh, that is your little twin." I'm like, "I don't even know you, but hey, thanks." He gets so tired of hearing that. You see the look on his face. I should tag him. Matter of fact, boom, I'm gonna tag him right here. Go follow him. Go give him a follow, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my son for the Juneteenth shirt. This is one of my Father's Day presents. Appreciate you, kid. Love you, man. Shout out to Ajaxxx for this beat. Boom. Ajaxxx Powerman Beats. He and I did a lot of stuff together, man. This is like my main producer back when I was an underground MC, man. I put out 5 albums and I think 7 mixtapes in a span of about 8 years. And I would say he probably did about 50% of the work on those projects, man. So it's like my brother, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Jax. Appreciate everything you did for me, kid. Much love, man. 100. Follow me on social media. Coach Terry 803. You already know what it be. I'll make sure I follow you back too. Everywhere that you can find social, you can find me. Appreciate your viewership, man. Konnected TV, your intersection of sports, special interest, and social commentary, wrapping it all into one neat package for your brain to digest and feast on. This is nourishment for your soul. This is soul food for your brain. Shout out to all my kings and queens out there. In case you didn't know that, yes, we are descendants of kings and queens, pharaohs, goddesses. Look it up, man. Don't let nobody take away your value, your worth. Know your past so you can know where you're going. You can guide yourself better if you understand where you came from. You dig? This is all off the dome. These are no notes. These are not quotes. This is freestyle for you folks. Ooh, I told you I used to rap. You don't even know. For real, I ain't playing any of this. But, the jersey, I know. So every episode, right, I wear a different shirt, different hat, and have a different jersey up in the background. I have a lot of jerseys. I was a big jersey guy. I left this one up. I know I had this one up for episode 8, so don't hit me up telling me. I know that. I left it up because the Celtics won the championship. So I had it up at episode 8, and that was probably their good luck charm while they won it. Shout out to all my Celtics fans. I know a couple of them. My homeboy C, a.k.a. DJ King Live. Boom. Shout out to you. Shout out to my brother. My brother Debo. Boom. Hit him up. He a Celtics fan. Like, they got it. I was wrong. I said they was going to lose to Denver, but since Denver didn't make it, I should be right because Denver didn't make it and Boston did. Boston won. So, by rule of association, I was kind of right. All right, let me get up out of here, man. Please, no, but make sure, hold on. don't click off just yet. Hold on. Please do me a favor. Share, tell a friend, comment, like, subscribe. 5 things. Please share, tell a friend, comment, like, subscribe. 5 things, and guess what? None of them cost you a single penny. You can do all 5 of those things for me for free just because you want to show love, just because you want to show support, just because you understand what a struggle it is. Being an independent podcaster, TV show producer, all of the above. Showing y'all some love, man. Thank y'all for showing me some love in return, in reciprocation. This is the Coach, Coach Terry 803, signing off episode number 9 of the Coach's Corner on Konnected TV. Shout out to each and every one of y'all. Stay safe, stay blessed, and most importantly, stay connected.